Welcome to The Fisher, a serialized audio story. This episode is part of an ongoing journey.
Anna, a glass of water before we begin.
Coming, Uncle.
Let us begin. Then it happened. All three children began to speak in different tongues. It was unlike anything Peter and Valerie had ever witnessed, not chaotic, but deeply sacred. It reminded them of the encounter the disciples had in Jerusalem upon the Holy Spirit's first descent in the book of Acts. They thought to themselves, this encounter would have been a glorious sight to behold. Josh's eyes burned with visible fire, a supernatural glow like coals in a furnace. Kezia's chest and ears pulsed with soft golden light, as if something divine had been placed inside her. The wind stopped just as suddenly as it began. The lights steadied, the air grew still. The room smelled faintly of incense and fire. Peter dropped to his knees. Valerie wept silently, and the children collapsed into one another's arms, exhausted but peaceful. In the days that followed, Peter and Valerie made an intentional decision. What had happened that night would not be shared with the outside world, not even with their closest friends or church family. They felt that this would draw unnecessary attention to their kids, especially at church. Josh began having visions and dreams, some of which were vivid and some cryptic. He could sense things before they happened. He once casually told Valerie not to take her usual route to work if she wanted to arrive on time. Valerie, however, ignored it, thinking it was a joke, and to her dismay, met a huge traffic jam that had been caused by an accident a few minutes before she left the house. Kezia, on the other hand, had developed a deep sensitivity to the voice of God. It was not dramatic. There was no thunder or burning bush. She unambiguously heard him. Clearly, she would sometimes pause mid-sentence and say, "Dad, God says you should rest," or "Mom, God says we should give to the needy today." However, they occasionally played with the gifts. Josh would casually ask for a rainy day so that everyone would be at home. And it just happened. This concludes this episode of The Fisher. Want to read ahead? You'll find the link to the full book in the description below. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, same time next week. Bye.